Hi, everybody, and welcome into Before the Sandstorm here on Gamecock Central. My dog is here. He wants to join in on the fun. He's so excited. He's very excited for South Carolina's game today. Hello. Okay, Kendall Smith and Jack Veltri joining you here, and we got a big one today, Jack. South Carolina taking on LSU. You are in Baton Rouge right now. So
I am.
checking in. How are we doing today, Jack? Happy game day.
I am good. So if you guys remember 3 weeks ago, I was in Missouri, I was in Como, and the setup was pretty whack. I'm not going to lie. Today, it's a lot better. I found a pretty good spot. We are here in Denham Springs. Got a poolside
Look at that.
GC Live. I know we're getting so bougie today. So we're doing GC Live outdoors again, but we have a much more quiet spot out here compared to the parking lot of a hotel in Como. So, but yeah, I'm doing good, Kendall, and happy game day and ready to get this thing rolling. How are you doing?
I am good. I'm a little bit jet lagged. And honestly, I stayed up to watch the entire ALDS game 5 yesterday.
Crazy game.
The Mariners and the
Crazy
Tigers.
game.
So that was crazy. That was one of the craziest postseason games I've ever watched. He is just really wanting the attention today. Hello. So yeah, it was great. I'm just a little bit tired, but I'm ready for the game today. Another night game. And one of my favorite things, Jack, is seeing where you do these before the Sandstorms when you are on the road. So I love that you are doing it by the pool. Yeah, how was the drive? How was the travel yesterday?
Oh, okay. I don't know if I told you. I feel like I've told everyone at this point. We did not fly into Louisiana. Do you want to take a guess where we flew?
You flew into.
I don't think I told you. No.
Where'd you fly?
Mobile.
Yes, you did tell me.
I did?
Just don't
Okay.
remember exactly where.
So
but I knew that you didn't fly into Arkansas, Louisiana.
we flew into Mobile, Alabama yesterday. Got in about 12, Central Time. And then, it's about 2.5, almost 3 hour drive. But, here's the reason why we did it for clarification here is you fly into New Orleans, it's our fault because I think we kind of booked this flight a little bit later than we should have. But it was like CJ, our photographer, he was telling me it was like $1,300 a ticket to fly into New Orleans, which is insane. And then you look at Mobile, it was $500 a ticket. So a lot cheaper to fly into Mobile, make the drive. I passed the time by, listened to radio, all that stuff. So it was nice and easy, nice weather out yesterday. So can't complain. We're here now and, getting ready for the game. By the way, gorgeous weather out today. Perfect weather. It feels like fall, like it finally feels like that time of year. I don't know how it feels back home, but it feels very good today.
It feels like fall in Charlotte, which I feel like is close enough to Columbia to where I can assume that it feels pretty much like fall in Columbia. We've got a lot to get to here today. Obviously, this is a big one for South Carolina. But Jack, before we go any further, a shout out to our presenting sponsor, the one, the only, Clint Hammond.
Of course. Thank you, Kendall, for that perfect introduction right there. Clint Hammond of CMG Home Loans. If you are in the market to buy a home, or maybe you already have one, you just need help with your mortgage, any of those housing needs, Clint is your guy to get in touch with. He has been in the mortgage industry for more than 20 years now. He's a lifelong Gamecock fan as well, and also a longtime supporter of Gamecock Central and all of our GC Live programs. If you've heard me, Kendall, Wes, Chris, whoever on Gamecock Central talk on one of these live streams before, you've heard us talk about our guy, Clint. He's the best. He's the man. Get in contact with him, 803-422-6797. The NMLS number for him is 71597. Or go to ClintHammond.com for more info. And again, that will be above us here on screen if you're watching live all episode long.
All right, Clint, we appreciate all you do, and we appreciate all of you for joining us because we do have so much to talk about here today. And yeah, this game tonight is huge, obviously, for South Carolina. It's not one that many people are expecting them to win, Jack, but if they are able to pull it off, wow, what a win it would be. So as we set the stage for tonight's game, 7:45, South Carolina, LSU in Death Valley, in Baton Rouge, South Carolina on the road. And this is really their first like massive road test, I would say. I mean, obviously playing at Missouri, you know, that's tough. It's an SEC road game, but I would be willing to say that Missouri's atmosphere doesn't quite top a night game in Death Valley at LSU. So this one is going to obviously be a challenge for South Carolina. But as we set the stage, I'm curious, where's your confidence at with South Carolina right now? Is it one of those situations where you're like, I just hope they keep it close? Or is it a situation where you're like, if everything goes right for South Carolina, I could see them pulling out the win?
They can most certainly win this game, right? You say it any week, but specifically this week, I really do feel like they can win. Now, we'll get into picks later and stuff. A lot of us on the staff picks picked South Carolina to win this game, and I have to say, I'm a little surprised. I am, just because South Carolina hasn't given us a ton of reason to pick them, but at the same time, it's not like LSU is this world-beating type of team. I mean, they're number 11 in the country, but they're coming off a bye week. They just lost to Ole Miss 2 weeks ago in Oxford. I mean, LSU's got a ton of problems, as much as South Carolina. The thing I will say about South Carolina is, again, what happened 2 weeks ago is kind of irrelevant to what's happening now, but Carolina played a much cleaner game of football 2 weeks ago. Less penalties, less missed tackles. There was a little bit more balance on offense. Even though it wasn't perfect, there certainly was for South Carolina. So I think continuing that trend is going to be critical in this game. The way South Carolina wins, in my opinion, is you have to force some critical mistakes by LSU. You have to. I mean, if you win the turnover battle in this game and you force a key mistake at some point in this game, I think you got a good chance. The other thing I've been beating the drum on about all week is neither of these teams can rush the football very effectively. It has been a struggle for South Carolina, obviously. I'll give you the rankings real quick. LSU ranks 118th in the country in rushing offense. South Carolina, 120th. So both these teams are terrible running the football. There's no way to sugarcoat it. I think if South Carolina is going to win this game, they got to force the critical mistakes, but they got to find a way to run the football because that opens up the offense so much more, Kendall. And if you kind of hold LSU without running the football a ton or running it effectively in this game, we know Garrett Nussmeier's probably not 100%. He'll play tonight, but how effectively be? You get Caden Durham back tonight as well. He wasn't available for the Ole Miss game 2 weeks ago. How does LSU's offense look if they can't run the football like they have all year? That's the big thing in this game. If South Carolina could find a way to run the ball more effectively, I feel pretty good about their chances potentially.
Yeah, and I think that's something we've talked about all year, obviously, for South Carolina. Just how well can you run the football? Where do you see that, coming into play tonight? Obviously, we know that's going to be huge for South Carolina. And we obviously know that Lenora Sellers playing well. My dog is so excited. He just wants to be on camera. He's
what's your dog's name?
His name is Donnie. He finally wants to be up here on camera. He's very excited about this. He's a pup. He's only 10 months old. So he really he has been on camera one time. He came to a Bark in the Ballpark at the Knights. And he enjoyed that. So I think that he got a taste of the camera, and now he's like, I want to be on more.
You're like Curb Street over here. You got like the dog,
I know. This is our version of Peter. This is South Carolina's version of Peter. So we love that. But we've talked about that and just how we'd like to see the run game get going a little bit more. And if it's going to happen, tonight needs to be that night. Shane Beamer has talked about keys to winning games and obviously talks about the turnover battle basically every single week. So from a defensive standpoint, let's switch gears a little bit, Jack. Just what do you want to see from the defense here today? You're obviously going against Garrett Nussmeier, who is one of the most highly praised quarterbacks across college football. Now, he's not going to be at 100% here tonight, but even a not 100% Garrett Nussmeier is still very good. So you want to see a lot from your defense, and you obviously want to see them force a couple of turnovers here tonight. So what is it that you think they need to do today in Baton Rouge to try to ensure that happens?
The big thing from last year's game, I know people don't like to talk about last year, and believe me, we're not going to get into all of last year, but look at LSU last year. They struggled to run the football through the first 2 games of the year, and that was a big talking point, just like it is now, of LSU can't run the ball. And then they came out of the gate trying to run the ball and struggled a little bit early on, but they eventually got it going, and that made a big difference for their offense in being able to make the comeback that they did when they were down 17-0. help or no help from the refs. But you look at tonight, I think the same concept applies. If LSU is going to win this game, I think they're going to run the ball effectively or a little bit more effectively, and they're not going to make the critical mistakes that South Carolina needs in this game. You need something to happen in this game. You need LSU to do something pretty stupid in this game to win. And I think if you win the turnover battle, you shut down their run game and you really put pressure on Nussmeier, kind of like you did last year, to be honest. I mean, he took some tough hits, as we all know. That'll make a big difference. And I got a question here from Big Red, who is always on these live streams. Appreciate you, Big Red. Is Judge Collier supposed to play tonight? Well, he was on the injury report earlier in the week. He's off it now. So, he got off of it last week or 2 weeks ago. And, I mean, he was out there for a little bit, but we'll see how much he's going to be out there tonight. I'll be interested. And we'll have all that on GamecockCentral.com as the game and pregame goes along, but I would expect him to play a bit tonight, and you're going to need him to. I mean, you really do. You need Miles Norwood to be out there playing as well, playing better, hopefully. Also, I know he was on the injury report as well. But, yeah, I mean, that's just the key tonight is try to shut down this run game. LSU is going to come out. I think both teams out of the gate are going to try to run the football effectively to start the night. Again, you hope it's South Carolina that's running the football down LSU's throats, and I'll be interested to see who gets the carries tonight. But defensively, yeah, you do need to stop this run and make sure that LSU is really one-dimensional in this game.
Well, what's really going to be tough about this game as a whole is just the environment. We've talked about it now for a couple of weeks, just preparing. South Carolina getting ready. They're coming off of a bye. So is LSU. And you are going into an environment that is the hardest you've played in all year. And it might be the hardest South Carolina has played in quite some time as a team. They haven't played at LSU in a while. And even thinking about last year's schedule, I mean, it is up there with one of the toughest places to play across the SEC, and that's what a number of people say. So when you think about just what will it take for South Carolina to be able to overcome a night game in LSU? Because it's not just the way that LSU plays on the field. It's dealing with everything else that comes with Death Valley. And that is certainly not an easy thing, Jack. So obviously the communication, the focus, the concentration, it all needs to be there. But what else does South Carolina need to do? Because it's not going to be easy. And we've said it once and we'll say it 100 more times.
It's this right here. It's this comment right here from Garnet Yardbird. It's summed up perfectly. Run the ball, eat the clock, stop the run, minimize penalties, and take care of the ball. Those are all the key things you need to do to win this game, right? It is kind of coach speak, let's be honest, but it's true, like he says. The big thing for South Carolina in this one, they're going to have to get out to a fast start to shut this crowd down. We obviously know it's going to be loud. This is my first time to LSU, so I can't say with experience what this crowd is really going to be like, but you just see it on TV. Kendall, it looks insane. We've heard it's this is the place where dreams come to die.
I wouldn't want to play there.
No.
That's what I said about Clemson in 2022 when South Carolina beat them. Their college football playoff dreams go away.
Yeah, that's a tough place to go play at Clemson. I'll be honest about that, and I think it's going to be similar here tonight. LSU doesn't really lose all that often in night games unless it's Alabama coming into town. That always seems to be a struggle for them. But besides that, I mean, who off the top of your head can you really say has beaten LSU at night? I personally can't think of any team in recent memory. But if you look at South Carolina, they got to start out fast in this game. And that means Lenore Sellers, Mike Shula, first drive of the game, scripted drive, go down the field, score a touchdown. I mean, I would take the ball first in this game, honestly, if you win the coin toss. Try to drive down the field. Do what Vanderbilt did. Right, you go back to a few weeks ago. Vanderbilt notoriously won the coin toss. They decided, we're taking the ball. We're going to go down. We're going to score. That's what they did. It set the tone so early on in this game. Even Kentucky did the same thing where they took the ball and went down and scored. So I know Kentucky didn't win, but Vanderbilt did, and they looked very convincing in that game. You want to shut this crowd down, go ahead and just get the first score, get a stop on defense, and then the ball is in your court to do something big. You just can't let that crowd get into it tonight. It's going to happen at some point probably. How you handle it is going to be the difference maker in this one. Like if LSU's got the momentum back and then you turn the ball over, I think you're kind of screwed at that point. Got to take care of the ball. You can't be the team making mistakes tonight. Let LSU be the one to make mistakes, and I think you can win this football game.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that so many of these comments are so true. Like, obviously, limiting penalties. And this was an issue that we talked about with South Carolina a few weeks ago. That was not great. It was way better against Kentucky than it was against Missouri. So you need that to be the case. You can't have silly pre-snap penalties tonight where you're just putting yourself in a bad position. That's just not going to fly, especially on the road against LSU. Yeah, we talked about the run game. This would be a really great day to find that and kind of get it going. Yeah. I like this too. Like, I don't know if this will actually happen, but wouldn't that be so cool? Like, just South Carolina comes out and they're like, yeah, like we are going to just set the tone here in this game. And if that were to happen, that would certainly take LSU's crown out of it for a little bit. Jack, we're going to talk about our predictions. And I do think it's interesting that a lot of people picked South Carolina to win this game on our GC staff, including myself. So we'll talk about that in just a bit. But before we do, we got a couple of other sponsors to say thank you to.
Yes, as usual. Also have Palmetto Golf and Belts to talk about. If you love golf, you need to go check out palmettogolfing.com for the latest custom-made gear. And even if you don't play golf, Palmetto Golf and Belts is a great place to grab a gift for that favorite golfer in your life. They have so much custom gear. Golf gloves, golf tees, golf towels, all available in the South Carolina Garnet, the Cross design, the Palmetto Tree and Moon design, and so much more. One of the coolest things in the shop is the needlepoint belts, which are extremely well made, but also more affordable than many of the others on the market. Palmetto Golf and Belts is operated by Brandon Cohn, a big South Carolina fan and longtime member over at GamecockCentral.com. Our members on the Insiders Forum are loving the products that Brandon has in his brand new shop, and he runs special deals all the time. So head on over to PalmettoGolfing.com today and check out his shop. Support a South Carolina fan and GamecockCentral.com member and get yourself some fantastic gear. Also, real quick, got to talk to you guys about Ferry Chevrolet. If you're a South Carolina fan out there who's interested in a new or used vehicle, make sure you check out our friends over at Ferry Chevrolet out in Orangeburg, South Carolina. They're led by a fourth-generation dealer in Joseph Ferry. The family-owned business over at Ferry Chevrolet has been serving the community for almost 100 years now, since 1926. It's conveniently located just off of I-26 between Columbia and Charleston, and the folks over at Ferry Chevrolet are local, trustworthy, and always transparent. The business began in St. Matthews and was built on honesty, integrity, and a handshake, and they still operate with those same principles to this day. Head on over to ferrychevrolet.com today to check out their inventory and to get in touch.
We love our sponsors here on the show. They allow us to do what we do. So certainly go check both of them out, as well as Clint Hammond. Okay, Jack, we are talking predictions now. And I want to get into a couple other games today because we just like to do that anyways. It's always fun. So first off, let's talk today's college game day game. Indiana, Oregon. This one will be a good one. We're just going to go through a couple of these other big games, then we'll get into South Carolina, LSU. So who do you have? Indiana, Oregon. Go.
I would like to pick Indiana. I would. I like Fernando Mendoza. He's a cool story. I think Indiana's a good team. I just think Oregon's better. I do. I think Dante Moore is a good quarterback. I have not seen many. Oregon's already proven that they can go out into a tough environment and win a big game. They're going to be back at home for this one in Eugene under the lights. It should be a pretty cool environment out there at Autzen Stadium. I got Oregon winning this one.
I have Indiana winning because if I don't have Indiana winning, my parents will be very mad at me. My parents went to Indiana, so they're big Hoosier fans, and I actually grew up a big Hoosier fan as well. So
I don't blame you.
We'll pick Indiana. I think that Indiana is a very good team. Oregon is obviously very good too, and it's not going to be easy to play at Oregon. So we'll see how it all goes, but I think it'll be a really good game. Another one that a lot of people have circled, I don't know why, because I personally think this game is not going to be close, is Ohio State, Illinois. Ohio State is playing at Illinois. And I was seeing it last night on TV, and I'm like, why is everybody like freaking out about this game? I could see Ohio State winning by 4 touchdowns. Like
it's because it's because it's in Champaign. And let's not get it twisted. Illinois is still a very good football team. But I think in the back of our minds, Kendall, we still have that they got smoked by Indiana a few weeks ago, like by 53 points type of smoke. So I think people have that in their heads. And also, this Ohio State team is so, so good. So, I mean, this is an easy Ohio State pick, I think. I think the spread is 2 touchdowns on this game. I think Ohio State covers pretty easily. Though I think it'll be close early on. I think Illinois is just no match for Ohio State this week.
That's how it typically goes, I feel like, with Ohio State. Like, it's a little close early on. And my friends, because Charlotte is a big spot for Ohio State alums. So my friends that went to Ohio State, I like to give them a little bit of a hard time. Like, oh, Ohio State's struggling a little bit. And then all of a sudden, they just come out in the second half and crush it. Okay, last one, just for fun. Let's do Michigan, Southern Cal. Just because I was in LA and I feel like this one's going to be tough. I think this was one of my most difficult decisions of the week. I had to do some serious reflection when I picked who I thought would win this.
What is it they do? Is it wait, hold on. I got to get the hand signal right. Oh, oh, there we go. Okay. Picking Southern Cal to win this game. Going to be or was that UCLA I just did? The hand signal.
No idea.
I have no idea. I have no idea. One of them does. What is the fight on thing they do? I'm picking Southern Cal to win this game. That was pretty over the top. I'm gonna pick Southern Cal to win this game. I just feel good about them winning this one. I know they lost to Illinois a few weeks ago, but I feel pretty good about USC getting this job done. It's just teams just struggle when they have to go coast to coast. Look at what happened with Penn State last week, Kendall. I mean, we didn't even get to talk about that. Penn State. Is that the upset of the year, losing to UCLA?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be hard for any team unless you get like an FCS school that beats like a ranked Power 4 team. Then yes, that's going to be the upset of the year. Because thinking about all the circumstances and like watching their interim coach get carried off the field was one of my favorite things I've ever
good.
seen. Like, yes. Yeah, I fear that Penn State is not in a great space right now, unfortunately, for them. So that is not a good thing. But yeah, we have USC Michigan that we're talking about right now. I picked USC Southern Cal, guys. We know USC South Carolina, and that's what Jack always puts when he says when he puts the games down. He always puts Southern Cal. He never puts USC. I have Southern Cal winning the game as well. I think that they're going to get it done. It's just something about them being at home. I think that they're a good team. And you know, you do mention the Illinois loss, but I watched that whole game a couple weeks ago, and there was a lot that they did right in that game. It just didn't end up going their way. So I think that they will get the win here today. Okay, let's get into what everybody wants to hear about, which is South Carolina LSU. And Jack, I'll let you go ahead and kick things off with your prediction for tonight.
It's probably a good idea to do it this way because
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get the bad out of the way here first. Yeah, I'm picking LSU to win this game. Not easily though. Not easily. Like I said, if South Carolina forces some mistakes, if they run the ball, they got as good of a chance as you could ask for to win this game. I think it's going to take a Lenora Sellers Superman type of performance to win this game. You get that coupled with the forcing the mistakes and running the ball effectively, you can win this game. Now, the reason I don't pick South Carolina to win this game is because I just don't know with 100% confidence if that's going to happen. Like, I know LSU is coming off the loss and stuff.
Do you know with 100% confidence that LSU is going to win? We never know with 100% confidence.
Of course I don't know. I'm wrong most of the time. But, you know, with this type of game, it's just the night factor being in Death Valley. It's going to be really tough, especially if you don't get off to a good start. They're just the things I just laid out right there. Too many questions for me to be like, okay, if they do this, this, and that, they're going to win. But is that all going to happen, right? Are you going to get the critical mistakes from LSU? Are you going to be able to run the football effectively? That we don't know. You know, you ran pretty well against LSU last year. I will say that. You get that type of running performance, I think you can win this game pretty easily. But, you know, you have to ask for a lot in this game, and I just don't know if you're going to get it, honestly. and then you factor in the home crowd, it'll be tough. So I'm picking South Carolina to cover. I will say that. I'm picking South Carolina to cover, but they're going to lose 24-21 tonight. So I hope I'm wrong. I do. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not as confident as everyone else in picking South Carolina to win this game.
Well, I picked South Carolina to win because I honestly don't care if I get it wrong. I just care about trying to set the positive vibes. I am in first or second in the staff pick.
So yeah, you were tied for first last week, and I think you're in second right now. So you're doing good. Don't give up on picks just yet.
Yeah, and for me, it's just one of those things where I'm like, wow, this is great. We're doing pretty well on the picks, but I just picked South Carolina to win because they're always good for a game that they shouldn't necessarily win. This is kind of a gutsy pick by me, but I would just rather set the tone. I literally said on the article, you guys can go read it. I'm like, does South Carolina really give me any reasons to pick them? No. Is there there's just a gut instinct for me. There is a feeling that I think they can do it, and I picked South Carolina to win, and I didn't give you any legitimate reasons why. I do think that Lenora Sellers is obviously extremely talented. I put this in there as well. I said that South Carolina tends to do very well after the bye week. We won't mention the Ole Miss game from last year, but historically speaking, Shane Beamer does very well after bye. I think that they kind of got their momentum going against Kentucky. They can keep that going this week. You're not getting a Garrett Nussmeier at 100%. And, we talk about the crowd and LSU and how difficult it is to play there. But I just don't want to make excuses at this point. I think that it's difficult to play anywhere on the road in the SEC. Yes, some schools more than the other. It's going to be harder to play at LSU than it is at Missouri. It's going to be harder to play at Florida than it is at Vanderbilt. So I think that, yes, there is some validity to that, but I also think that if you're playing in the SEC, you got to get used to playing in some tough environments. So I'm not using that as an excuse for South Carolina. I've said it all year. I think they're a very talented team. And I think that once it all comes together, this team will be tough to beat. And I could see tonight being the night where it comes together, but it does have to come together in all three phases. Obviously, offensively, you got to get the run game going. You have to have a great game from Lenora Sellers. And somebody said it earlier, I really would like to see Nick Harbor get involved often and very early. From a defensive standpoint, it's about disrupting what LSU does. It's about making sure that you're staying on top of Garrett Nussmeier and just making things as difficult as you possibly can for them offensively, keeping them off schedule. You don't want them to have these long, sustained drives. I mean, there needs to be as much disruption as you possibly can get defensively. Special teams-wise, you'd love to see a score. Obviously, you want South Carolina to do kind of what they've done from a special team standpoint, but just keep things smooth and steady when it comes to penalties and when it comes to turnover. So South Carolina needs to make sure they're taking care of the football, that they're winning the turnover battle. And again, like we said, no stupid pre-snap penalties. Just lock in and do what you need to do. I know that's a laundry list of things that I'm saying they need to do to win this game, but it's
possible.
Because it's possible. And I think that this team is absolutely capable of doing it. So I have South Carolina winning 27-24. I think that we are in tonight for a game that is going to be stressful. I just already can feel it. And the reason why I can feel it is because there are 4 games happening tonight starting at between 7 and 8 that are important to me. And so I'm going to be I'll be locked in on South Carolina first and foremost. But I just feel like it's going to be a stressful, close game, but I do think that South Carolina can do it. And I think this is going to be that Lenora Sellers performance this season that's going to be signature.
Yes.
And I don't know. I get that vibe. So sorry, I just went on a rant, but I picked South Carolina, and for anything but positive vibes, I'm willing to take the L if they don't win, just to say I tried to speak some positive vibes into the room at the start of the day. I tried to do my part, and it is a really good
It's a good one.
College football. So that is exciting. But yeah, this was my final score prediction too, Jeff. So we'll see. Check out what everybody else said over on Gamecock Central. Who else picked South Carolina?
I will run through the list real quick. Give me one.
We're calling everybody out. We usually don't do this.
We are. We're going to give everyone their flowers for a minute, and then I guess not flowers if they lose. Let's see. George Bagwell, intern for us, picked LSU 24-18. Elijah Campbell from 107.5 picked LSU to win. Chris Clark, LSU to win. Terry Ford from 107.5, South Carolina to win. Griffin Goodwin from Gamecock Central picked LSU to win. Tyler Head picked South Carolina. Mingo Martin, another intern over at GC, or part-timer, I should say, picked LSU to win. He's only got South Carolina having 3 points in this game. We'll see if that stands. Kevin Miller over at GC, 24-20 LSU. Wes Mitchell picked South Carolina to win. Jay Phillips picked South Carolina. The Kendall Smith picked South Carolina to win. You know, Mike Yuva didn't send me his picks this week, so what I ended up doing was I went to Chat GPT. I asked for what the score is going to be of this game, and Chat GPT picked LSU to win 27-17. So that's Mike's pick right there. I picked LSU to win, obviously, and then Chris Wellbaum has South Carolina winning by 2 touchdowns tonight.
Oh my gosh.
So
I
look,
like
guys,
that.
I like it, but I don't know about 2 touchdowns. That's
a lot.
bit crazy.
Hey, you never know. We've seen some crazy things happen. Shout out Chris, shout out Wes, and shout out to the 107.5 crew. That's pretty legit.
Shout out to you as well,
Harry.
So.
Thank you. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I really don't know. I wish I could tell you, but everybody just sit back, relax, and enjoy. That's all I can say.
Relax. Oh yeah, like that's gonna happen. Your heart is going to be pumping tonight. Just get a cold beverage or a snack, just something to just take off the edge a little bit and just enjoy this day of college football before it gets kind of real tonight. So.
Yeah, we will see. And we didn't really talk about last year, but we know what happened last year in South Carolina. Some of the guys that were a part of that team last year are carrying that into tonight too. So we'll see if that plays any role in the game. And good luck, everybody. Have fun tonight. It's going to be stressful at times, but we can all get through it together. And if you have anything that you would like to say, just go tell Jack over on the chat boards.
Yep, I'll be there.
You guys can tweet at me too. I will be chatting it up and talking all night. So happy to interact and we can all talk together and kind of see what we're thinking. Sorry, Jack. But yeah, I think that my heart rate will be up a lot tonight because my heart rate was up last night for the Mariners-Tigers game. And I have a zero dog in that fight. I was just like, but once we got the 12th inning, 13th inning, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was stressed. I was very stressed. I was stressed for whatever pitcher gave it up. I felt really bad for them.
And of course, it was Tommy Kahnle, too, former Yankee. That was poor Tommy. You
can't be the hero in that situation no matter what.
No.
Walk off will be the hero.
Yeah.
Anyway, whole thing. But yeah, poor Jack and his Yankees.
Oh, I know. So heartbreaking. So heartbreaking.
Okay, Islanders hockey.
The Islanders lost the other night, too. It's but you know what? You know who has it worse than me? Any Philadelphia sports fans out there. My goodness, they have it bad. I mean, it's
sorry to any Philly fans. I was at when I was there, they beat the Dodgers pretty bad.
Yeah, they did.
The game I was at, so.
But not the next night, unfortunately. So, no. Well, hopefully tonight.
Anyways,
everyone has a
people are going to start getting mad because we're talking about baseball. People don't like it when we talk about baseball. Well, we've had it's okay. So sorry, everybody. We're going to say it once and we'll say it again. We do like baseball, Jack and I.
We love baseball around here. So.
We love it. It's my full-time job. It's Jack's favorite sport together. And we're going to get to talk about it a lot more. But right now we're just talking football and we're talking South Carolina LSU. You guys can go to GamecockCentral.com. You can get all the updates for today. Jack is in Baton Rouge. So it's going to be a big one. And I can't wait. I love a night game. I'm waiting for a noon game for South Carolina because then I can just, have the rest of my night provide.
Next week.
But tonight I will wait. I will wait patiently all day and get ready.
Yeah. Oh God. That's like just a dagger to the heart right there, man.
Yeah, that was brutal. That
was awful. Because I had just gotten home from my time off and I'm watching the game. I want to go to bed and then they lose and I'm like, oh man, just
to the Patriots.
to the Patriots. I mean, they look good, but hopefully the Islanders can cheer me up. Hopefully they win today. So
I hate to say it, Jack, but if I'm predicting like Metro Division, and
I know
I'm not picking the Islanders.
neither am
Go to
I.
the playoffs, unfortunately.
Neither am
I don't know. Maybe crazier things have happened, but the Metro Division is a good group. We've seen that every year. I think the Canes are pretty much a lock.
I would say they are. They're
That's what I saw the other night, but we'll see. It's very early.
So we'll see.
Okay. Anyways, we're getting way off topic here. We're talking hockey. We're talking baseball.
We got college football to get to. So.
Yeah, college football Saturday. Happy Saturday, everybody. We hope that you enjoy your day. Enjoy the game here tonight. And thanks so much for joining us here on the show. For Jack Veltri, I'm Kendall Smith. This is Before the Sandstorm here on Gamecock Central, and we will see you soon. Happy game day, and we'll see what happens tonight. Drop your score predictions below. Bye, everybody.